Today we have the 2023 Honda Pilot TrailSport, which we'll be testing out how it does on-road, fuel economy, practicality, safety, and of course, because we are in the wilderness and we do have the most capable Pilot trim, the TrailSport, we'll be testing out whether it's just an appearance package or whether it's actually off-road worthy. Oh, it's a fly. It's a mosquito. It's chasing me! Alright, in this new Pilot, we do have 285 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque going to a 10-speed automatic transmission. We do get a brand new 3.5-liter V6 dual overhead cam engine, which is all new for this car. It's more powerful than ever before. The all-new aluminum V6 features a unique engine block with low-profile cylinder heads, with high tumble ports and a narrow 35-degree valve angle for better combustion. Plenty of power now to get you up to speed, and it's also more fuel efficient. And with that extra power, we do have bigger brake rotors and bigger brake calipers as well for better stopping power. This Pilot can also tow about 5,000 pounds, which is enough for most boats and trailers, as it serves a key to adventures for many customers. There's a 60% increase in front lateral rigidity, so the Pilot feels more connected to the ground, and also a 30% increase in the rear lateral rigidity as well. You have a drive mode selector, you can put it in sport mode, and it sounds pretty good. I know it's injected audio, but it doesn't sound bad at all. There are new McPherson struts in the front, and an all-new rear multi-link suspension in the back. And surprisingly, this Pilot can take these corners really well. It doesn't feel as big as it is. For an 8-seater SUV, it kind of drives like the CR-V. Like, it feels like a much smaller SUV when you're chucking it around in the corners. And it picks up really nicely as well. The front vertical stiffness is increased to 8%, and the rear longitudinal stiffness is up 29%. And so it makes sense why this Pilot feels much more sporty and a lot smaller than what it actually is. These front seats are also designed to reduce lateral swaying, so you're more comfortable on longer trips. It's nice. Still very much comfortable for how sporty the new Pilot is. With that extra rigidity and stiffness, it makes the Pilot feel much more confident when you're taking it around any turn. The steering is also very quick to respond, and part of the reason why it feels like a car. The variable steering ratio is perfect. It's not too light, it's not too heavy, and you have a lot of confidence just taking this through any corner. So over the past 300 miles, we've been averaging about 21 miles per gallon with a pretty good blend of highway and city driving. On the highway alone, we've been averaging about 23, 24 miles per gallon, and in the city, we've been averaging about 18 miles per gallon, which is quite impressive for a 4,600 pound 8-seater SUV, especially with these all-terrain tires, which definitely reduce the fuel economy a little bit as well. Throw it back in normal mode or econ mode, the cabin is very quiet, very comfortable, and it just makes this a very good dailyable car. And once you do get on the freeway, you can just turn on lane keep assist. It just locks into the lane, you can just let go of the wheel, and then you also have adaptive cruise control as well, so you can just enjoy the ride. Occasionally it will remind you to touch the wheel, but it does a really good job of holding a lane, so you really don't have to do anything, which is perfect for road trips. Of course, you do get Honda sensing as standard. It comes with blind spot monitors, rear cross traffic alert, and forward collision warning with pedestrian detection. So since we've got the Trail Sport version, we do have a Trail Drive mode, which is engineered to dial in the suspension and steering to match various driving conditions. Aside from just the Trail Sport design with the blacked out grille and blacked out trimming, we do get a very different suspension setup compared to the regular Pilot, which includes a 1-inch lift compared to the regular Pilot for increased approach and departure angles. We get unique stabilizer bars that are designed to articulate the vehicle better and for off-road comfort. And the spring rates and dampers are unique for the Trail Sport only. We've also got a steel skid plate underneath that covers pretty much the entire underbelly of the car, and it's designed to hold up the entire weight of the Pilot. We also get 18-inch shark gray aluminum alloy wheels that not only have a more rugged look, they are carefully designed with inset spokes to protect the wheel from damage when you're off-roading. They are wrapped with all-terrain Continental tires just for the Trail Sport. We also get a multi-view camera that comes on under 15 miles per hour, and it will turn off when you're going above 15, but once you dip back below 15, it will come back on so you have a better view around your car. We also get front and rear washer sprays in case it gets obscured by off-roading debris. That's a skid plate. We just drove over a tree. The all-wheel drive has a pretty cool trail torque logic system that is designed to quickly shift power from the wheels that don't have traction and back to it when it does reach the ground again. The IVT M4 torque vectoring all-wheel drive simultaneously shift power between the wheels and also utilizing the brakes to limit wheels from spinning when there's no traction on them. The trail torque logic also controls the amount of power going to the rear axle in certain situations like climbing through an off-road trail with V-ditches that can cause the tire to lose contact to the ground temporarily. As much as 75% of the power can be sent to one individual tire. The remaining 25% of the torque potential is sent to the non-active wheels to allow immediate transfer of force once the wheels regain traction again. There's also hill descent control, which is not only available for the Trail Sport, but for all the Pilots. It appears that we are a little bit stuck on something. Let's see how this all-wheel drive system does though. You can watch how it distributes the torque and the menu. Oh, and that's a skid plate. And we're out. This is more capable than what any Pilot owner typically needs, but it's nice that you can get this capability right out the box. So we have this super steep hill with a grade of just over 20%, which is already incredibly challenging just to walk on, especially with the mud. We have exactly just enough approach angle to not scrape coming up, and just enough departure angle as well from the rear. You can see how the traction management is shifting power front and back just to get it up the hill. It did struggle just for a brief second, but eventually made it up with minimal effort. We've tried this with multiple SUVs in the past, and most of them cannot make it up this hill. I think it's pretty safe to say that the Trail Sport isn't an appearance package, it's actually a really good off-roader. And I'm quite impressed with this new four-wheel drive system. Watch, you can see how steep this hill is because when you brake, you basically slide right back down. Pilot gets a whole new look. It's bolder, beefier than ever before. It's bigger, longer, and wider. And this Trail Sport gets blacked out accents and styling that makes it look more rugged and sporty at the same time. We got these unique off-road wheels in shark gray with these all-terrain tires, some front fog lights, and this really nice LED light that kind of reminds me of the light on the Ford Explorer. Coming around to the rear, again, we have a more boxy look, including on every Trail Sport is a trailer hitch. And of course, because it is a Trail Sport, we are also an inch higher off the ground than the regular Pilot. The new redesign is more mature, more carved out lines, more angles, and it gives the Pilot more presence on the road. stepping into the TrailSport, we do have pretty brand new interior that you would get in most of the new Hondas. We do get the standard screen. All the surfaces in here are clean, they're smooth, and they look pretty good as well. Honda's really made the interior pretty upscale, especially for an economic car. It's getting pretty close to the luxury cars. The instrument cluster is not clustered at all, actually. There's just a few things that you can go through, including a screen in the middle that you can shuffle through many different things. It's only half digital, the other half is the analog speedo. And then coming to the middle, we do have the standard 10-inch screen. You do get standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The whole system is very seamless, fast, very intuitive to use. Doesn't take much learning, unlike a lot of cars, to figure out how to use it. There is also a USB port, a wireless charger, a USB-C port, and we do have a giant center console, which is full of stuff right now. You can put a whole jacket or a purse in there. The steering wheel is nice and clean. There is orange stitching for the TrailSport, which is nice, and it's also heated as well as the seats in the front and the back as well. The seats are supportive, and you do get a very nice TrailSport logo embedded into the seat and the orange stitching design, which is unique for the TrailSport. I do love the fact that they still have a mechanical HVAC knob, super easy to use. I much rather here than in the screen. There's nice and soft touch paddings on the door, as well as gloss black trimming on the side. And there's very nice padding with orange stitching that runs across the dashboard, as well as some space up top here as well. All right, hopping into the back, this is where the Pilot got a lot of upgrades. There's an extra 2.4 inches of legroom. The entrance to get in and out is very wide. The door opens almost 90 degrees, and it just makes getting in and out the second and third row pretty easy. There's also some sunshades on the side as well, which is a nice touch. And you do get auto up-down windows in the front and the back, which is cool. Heated seats back here. You do get your own HVAC system, an AC 115 volt outlet. You get a cubby just for your phone and the regular cubby as well. And the seat gets a much more noticeable recline angle than the Pilot in the past. This is a multi-use console in the middle that can be used as an extra seat. And instead of keeping that extra seat in your garage or something, it is stored in the back of the Pilot under the trunk bed. Lots of headroom. There's still like a room for another head on top of me. And this is one of the biggest panoramic sunroofs I've seen in this class. Hopping in the back has never been easier. There's a button at the bottom of the seat and at the top of the seat that brings the seat forward. And you have a very nice wide opening to get through and into the back seat, which is one of the biggest rear seats in this class. There's plenty of space for adults back here, not just children. And you can even move the front seats forward for extra space, but plenty of space. This is one of the biggest 7 or 8 seating SUV in the class in terms of rear seat space. The 2023 Pilot has the most cargo room in the model's history, with 22.4 cubic feet behind the third row, and when you fold the third and second row down, which they do fold flat, you have about 114 cubic feet of space. With all that being said, the Pilot is now one of my favorite 7 or 8-seater SUV. It's a great blend of comfort, tech, functionality, and it's a class leader in practicality and space. It drives and handles much better than before, and it hides its size really well. And of course, the TrailSport is no joke. It's not just a marketing and appearance package like a lot of the other manufacturers. It surprisingly did an incredible job tackling the trail, and it did it all in comfort and style. The Pilot is also designed in California, developed in Ohio, and built in Alabama, and the TrailSport itself was engineered for off-roading in Nevada, making this an even better choice if you support North American manufacturing and jobs. That's all, guys. Thanks for watching.